Evening. Buyer's remorse. Buy a new car? I'll be moving in. Let's get started.
Sorry, I think there's been a mistake. I bought it from Carvana.
You what?
Yeah, great price. I even have 7 days to love it or return it.
So there's no...
No buyer's remorse. More like buyer's rejoice.
I guess I'll let myself out. Congratulations. I mean it.
Buyer's rejoice. Buy your car today on Carvana.
Limitations and exclusions may apply. See our 7-day return policy at Carvana.com.
What's more exciting than two NFL division rivals going head-to-head in Australia? It's knowing you can watch it live on Netflix. Netflix is expanding its NFL coverage this season and beyond. In addition to the Rams and the Niners kicking off Week 1, be sure to catch the first ever Thanksgiving Eve matchup and 2 Christmas Day games on Netflix. Watch Week 1 of the NFL on Netflix. The Los Angeles Rams versus the San Francisco 49ers, live on Netflix Thursday, September 10th at 8:35 p.m. Eastern, 5:35 p.m. Pacific.
It's time to get your morning started with the news you need to know.
News update.
This is what's trending with DJ and PK. Hashtag BYU.
My age is going to handle all that stuff, so I'm going to focus on this year's team. And as long as I'm the head coach here at BYU, I'm going to always fight like crazy to get this place so they can be a premier program. I feel like the players deserve that, and the coaches and staff deserve it, and most of all, Cougar Nation deserves it. So that's what I'm going to try to do. Guys, I'm easy to. How's my relationship with everybody? I'm easy to get along with, as long as you just take care of our football team and take care of the boys. The focus has got to be on the players. So the focus shouldn't be on my relationship with anybody other than my relationship with these players and being their leader. And the great thing is we have amazing leadership on the team, so I don't have to do much. I mean, they make my job a lot easier. I just got to make sure we can avoid all the distractions, so that's my job. I'm trying to make sure these guys get all the attention, because the attention needs to be on them going into the season, you know. So I've made comments and talked about things in the past, but once the season starts, I'm all about the boys and all about what the fans expect. And so we're trying to meet all our fans' expectations, and that's what I'm working on right now.
There's Kalani Sitake's original comments on his relationship with Santiago. He no longer reports to the athletic director amid tension about resources. Now the BYU athletic department's been restructured. Santiago doesn't oversee football. BYU advancement vice president Keith Forkink will now oversee football. PK,
what?
A shakeup.
Yeah.
In Cougarville.
Cougar Nation.
Cougar Nation. To some people, this might feel definitive. To other people, it might feel like one chapter in an ongoing story. I don't know. How does it feel to you?
Feels great.
It does? Like a spring day after a long winter? What are you getting at? Like a day at the beach in Manhattan Beach.
Yeah, that's what they want to do. I mean, I don't care. I have no feeling about it. It doesn't matter to me what they do. We got all this other stuff we got to get to. I can tell you what I know at the bottom of the hour when we're done with this. And I mean, I mentioned it on Tuesday, and that this was coming. So I'm not sure it satisfies either party. You got two people that don't get along. What can I tell you? Believe it, don't believe it, I don't care. But it's if it's not apparent to you now, you don't want to see it. And how is this going to work? Remains to be seen. If you give Kalani what he wants, it's going to work great. If you don't, you can put whomever you want in charge.
Right. BYU's announced Hall of Fame inductees, former football stars Jason Buck, Kyle Van Noy on the list. DJ and PK.
Hashtag Utah.
The guy with the ball that, touches the ball every time, if he's a playmaker like Devin is, as a defense coordinator, you might think you have him, but in actuality, you don't. He creates a lot of problems for us, and, you'll have guys that think that they're sacking him. I've seen Devin Lloyd get out of stuff that way worse than what we're throwing at him. So it's fun to go against him. It's kind of a little chess match and a battle between us, as far as just different looks that we're trying to give him and pressures and seeing how he handles it. But I would say in fall camp, he's done a fantastic job.
That's Utah defensive coordinator Colton Swan on what it's like to go against Devin Dampier. How much will he progress? His stats got much better as he moved from New Mexico to Utah. What does this year hold? Colton Swan upbeat.
I don't think his stats got better. I think his stats were better in New Mexico.
His touchdown rate more than doubled. Interception rate fell by about half. He didn't throw as many passes.
Right.
And he rushed less. So those numbers did drop. But more touchdowns, fewer turnovers. Gotta like that.
Yeah, but I mean, total yards.
Yards did go down. That stat
just
did
get in
drop.
the end zone. I mean, stats are for losers, man. Get in the end zone and see what you can. The number of points that you put on the board is what matters. I mean, I just don't get into the stats. I get into the score.
His touchdown rate more than doubled. That was one of the stats I was referring to. So,
I don't need him to be better though. I mean, he was really good.
He was really good. If you could get that again, that would be awesome.
Yeah, I mean they lit up the points. That's the most important thing. I'm not into this just because someone's a year older.
They're automatically going to have a better season.
Because that would mean, like, when you're 60, man, you'd really be awesome.
It's 40 time never drops. Father time is undefeated, but he's not winning. It's just a push. Time and time again.
How many games you win? He's electric, and he's going to continue to be electric.
Utah football preserves the moment of loudness. They're adding LED lights to Rice Eccles Stadium this year, so it'll look a little different.
LED lights. Oh, I gotta go now.
You already gotta go. DJ and PK.
Hashtag college football.
It's a statement about where we are from a governance standpoint, that we are having conversations about what the rules are going to be regarding roster management on August 27th, and we kick off. There's games tonight, there's games Saturday, and we're not even really sure what the rules are around who can play on our teams this fall.
That's Texas A&M head coach Mike Elko. Obviously not happy about the state of college football. Already have a judge's order prohibiting the SEC from blocking pro athletes' return. So the battle goes on, even as the ACC approves it. So all the Power 4 teams are going to have the rule, but is it going to stand?
Why do you think the rule isn't going to stand? If I decide I don't want you, who's going to force me to take you?
That's true, but I view that as a hypothetical because I figure there's somebody out there who thinks they're getting an advantage on the field and a better chance to win, so somebody will take them. But a rule by the conference, it doesn't. Well,
but that means somebody is not going to take them, so it's not hypothetical.
They're still back in college football, and that's going to bother people. You're right. Maybe not all 138 teams will take them.
Right. So if somebody, and you'll be an outcast like Texas Tech was with the Swordsby thing.
Do you think they will be an outcast because like only one or two of the 138 take them? Or do you think we played the Ryan Day sound yesterday?
I doubt Idaho State's going to take them.
Yeah, they're not going to have the money. But is like Ryan Day going to go along with it because everybody else is?
Well, if I'm getting $0 and I get 100, I take the 100. They don't need them. What? One or two guys doesn't make a difference unless he's some sensational quarterback. So, I mean, you can get all the judges' rules in the world that you want. But if you believe in a standard, you can adhere to the standard. And if somebody else doesn't believe in the standard, fine, let them not believe in the standard.
ACC is expanding enhanced replay for football games in 2026. So not only will they have replay, but enhanced replay means there'll be cameras and microphones, and you can hear the people who are doing the replay deciding whatever they decide. Overturn it, upheld it, he was in, he was out, whatever.
I thought they already did that.
They do, but apparently the ACC is expanding it, and now the Big 12 is going to it. So some were doing it. And I guess the ACC announced they're going to have 4 cameras. You're going to be able to look over whoever is reviewing the video, you're going to be able to look over the replay official's shoulder at the monitor and see what he's seeing, all that kind of stuff.
Well, just don't show him going to the bathroom.
That'd be a good point. Yeah, don't need that. New Mexico starting quarterback Jack Lane sitting out the season due to injury. And the Poinsettia Bowl is coming back after a near decade hiatus. It's going to be the Pac-12 versus somebody from one of three different leagues, possibly the Big 12, maybe the ACC or Big 10. DJ and PK.
Hashtag NFL.
Action. A lot of time for Herbert to unload a deep ball down the middle of the field. Wide open. It's a touchdown. Quentin Johnston to the house.
Touchdown. Frank Gore Jr.
There we go.
Touch. No, not yet. Not yet.
There it is.
It is a touchdown. His second of the preseason.
First down goal. Off the fake. Comes back this way. Caught. And taking it to the end zone for the touchdown. Luke Flourier. Second week in a row he has found the end zone. Touchdown, Browns.
Preseason games. They just fly by, PK, so quickly. Had a handful of them. We got the cut down day coming on Sunday. A lot of people find out the dream is alive or the dream is dead. Touchdown Browns. They rolled over the Patriots 37-13, if that fires you up. Dylan Gabriel came out and moved the team. Threw the ball around. 12 of 15 for 186 yards and 3 touchdowns. Clint Kubiak, Mum, who will the Raiders starter be? Is Fernando Mendoza ready to go right at the start of the year? Are they going to hold him out for a while and go with the vet? Or do you go with the kid? You ready to put Fernando Mendoza out there? See your guy?
No.
Put the pause button on Fernando Mania?
Yeah, I don't think he needs to go right now if he's not ready. I mean, I'm not following it, but if they don't think he's ready, that's fine. Nothing wrong with hanging around for a little bit. I also don't think that if you put somebody out there, it's just going to doom him for the rest of his life. I think that's exaggerated. That's cliche, what the ex-jocks tell us, because they're supposed to say that. It says it in an ex-jock manual.
But there's obviously examples of people who struggled early and went on to Hall of Fame careers, so it doesn't have to break you. Rams traded for Tutu Atwell, and Sean McVay says nothing to do with the possible suspension for the former BYU Cougar Puka Nacua. Adding depth, they traded him in exchange for running back Harkez Hunter. Atwell returned to the team that drafted him in 2021. He had just signed with Miami in March, and already he's back in L.A. Seahawks give Leonard Williams 3 years and $90 million. And Mike McCarthy is talking like he might keep 4 Steeler quarterbacks. He praised them all. Nobody really keeps 4. It's usually 3. But maybe he's looking around the league and if we hold on to 4 of them, we'll be able to trade one of them and get something pretty quickly. Is either teams get desperate because of performance or desperate because of injuries. So that might be Mike McCarthy's thinking here, but he's making it sound like they're going to hold on to 4 quarterbacks. NFL players who return to college remain ineligible for future NFL drafts. None of this coming back and getting drafted twice. That has sometimes turned into a little bit of leverage for baseball players. I guess NFL doesn't want to give that up. DJ and PK.
Hashtag Major League Baseball.
High fly ball out to right. Back is back. Near the wall. Dalen Lyles done it again. 3 home runs in this series. 18 on the year. And right after the Rockies stranded, the bases loaded in the top half of the 5th. The Nationals add on here in the home half. And that is pounded to right field. Way out of here. 1-0 Royals. 2 pitches into the top of the 1st.
Arms tonight across the league. This ball is crushed. Goodbye, Baldwin on the first pitch.
If you're David Hamilton.
Churio goes to right. It's back. And it is gone for Jackson Churio. The base hit bunt turns into 2 runs.
Highlights from around the night of Major League Baseball. An impressive performance. Braves shut out the Dodgers 1-0. Chris Sale goes the distance. Old school PK, walking in the dugout after 8 innings and saying, "This is mine." And he goes the distance and gets the shutout.
18 complete games this year in the major leagues. For comparison, in 1996, which would be approximately 30 years ago, 118 games were completed in the MLB. 40 years ago, by comparison, there were 162. Let's go 50. What the heck?
That's a full season's worth of complete games.
Yeah, absolutely. 1976? In 1976, there were a total of 1,206 complete games pitched in Major League Baseball.
That is awesome.
If this is true, I mean, the AI, you type it in.
So 40 years ago, there were basically 10 times as many complete games. But now you go back another decade, it's 100 times.
Yeah, 1,206.
Holy cow.
In 1976.
That's crazy.
I know.
That's probably not 100. That's probably 75 times or whatever. But you get the idea.
That is amazing, the difference of what's going on now versus the last 10, or I guess I went back 30, 40, and 50 years.
Well, Chris Sale, old school, and the Braves sweep a 3-game series from the Dodgers. And that goes back to the stat you were sharing yesterday. The Dodgers record, teams with winning records or teams with losing records, is very different. They have cleaned up on. They've crushed the bottom of the major leagues. But they're vulnerable against the better teams in the league. And
they're probably going to play the better teams in the league in the playoffs.
Thank you, Captain Obvious. The Braves being one of those teams, and now the fight is, do you have to play in that first round, or do you get to sit out the 2 out of 3 series, which is, by its very nature, pretty fluky, right?
Dangerous, yeah, for sure, yeah.
Anything can happen in a short series, and the shorter the series, the more random they become.
Potentially.
Yeah.
Not necessarily, but potentially, yeah.
Best record in the National League right now, the Brewers, and with the Braves, with that sweep, have pulled within 1 game of the Dodgers now for the second best record with about a month to go here. The Yankees got beat by the Astros 5-1. Yankees look like they're on path to be a wild card team here. And Aaron Judge, when will you be back? And the Yankee star says he won't need rehab once he's cleared. So that whole deal, he's cleared, but then maybe he's got to go, hitting cages or in the minors or get at bats. Nope. He says when he's cleared, it's go time. And George Lombard Jr. becomes the first Yankee with an error in 6 consecutive games. First one since 1921, more than a century. Now, PK, you only made 3 your senior season, and one of them was that high chopper at Moon Valley, the ball in the sun, because the field's oriented the wrong way.
Yeah, you can't have that in pro ball.
I am sure your manager, your head coach, your coaches all said, you got to want the ball to be hit to you. I'm thinking somewhere around the 3rd or 4th game in a row with an error. George Lombard Jr. did not want the ball hit to him. But it's now 6 in a row because the ball keeps getting hit to him.
Well, I think the ball's going to get hit to everybody during the course of a game.
Tampa officials approve a $2.3 billion deal for a new Rays stadium. They're getting closer, right? They're going to do this. There've been stops, starts, forward, backwards, sale of the team, new owners, stop, starts, but $2.3 billion. Now it sounds like it's getting done. You want to believe now?
This reminds me of Irwindale.
The Raiders tried to build a stadium in L.A. Well, the greater L.A. metropolitan area, anyway.
Yeah. Irwindale is out by the Sand Gabes. But it seemed like, you just go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And it's like you got so sick of it that you didn't believe anything. So this thing here, they've been talking about it. And I thought, when the weather damaged the Tropicana Dome, you thought, okay, now. But then they just remodeled that one after they played a season at the Yankees AAA stadium there. So I don't know, man. When it's complete or it looks like complete. I mean, the good thing with Vegas, I'll be there next week. You can drive by and you can see it. Okay, progress.
Yep.
I doubt they're going to stop at this point. So I'm not there, even close to being there with Tampa Bay.
All of this matters to us because one of the conditions of expanding was that the stadium situations in Las Vegas and in Tampa get resolved.
Right. Now, once I see some steel going in on the west side here, knowing what I know of the Millers and Steve Starks, I'll believe it because I have relationships.
Mm-hmm.
And they're not going to say it unless it's true. And that'll be a dream come true, too, for a lot of folks in the sports market if and when that happens. I mean, I'm a little reluctant. Oh, Salt Lake, who do we have? Bob Nightingale. They're a lock. Ooh. I can't go there, man. You know?
You don't want to allow yourself the potential disappointment of getting locked in.
Wow, are you kidding me?
Even though you know Bob Nightingale's not writing that unless multiple people are telling him that.
I know.
Yeah.
I don't know him personally, but like a guy who I spent a night with and dinner last week down in in L.A. is really good friends with him. And so he says that, the guys, you don't achieve his level with just throwing crap out there. And I know people are saying, well, what about you, PK? Yeah, I throw a lot of crap out there. We'll get to that at the bottom of the hour.
Major League Baseball pitches a free agent frenzy period similar to the NFL and NBA. They want to, instead of having the hot stove league and rumors and guys signing, they want to have a period where you can sign around the winter meetings. Then they want to basically have what college sports called a dead period for a long time. Nothing through the holidays and into early January. And then you got to at some point let teams go and fill out their rosters before spring training, so they'll have another window where you can sign. But try to compress all the signings in an area and create some news and some energy.
This is nothing for me.
Yeah.
Bryce Harper signed when the Phillies were already in spring training. And when he did, it was gigantic.
It was big news.
I remember literally, I got to log on to Philly radio. And I listened to it the whole afternoon. They were going berserko. Whatever. But I'm not opposed to it, but I don't think it makes any difference.
The blackout dates, they suggest, if you could put them on a calendar, might compare to, say, the last couple weeks of the NFL season and the start of the NFL playoffs. Don't have our big news overshadowed by the peak of their season. What is trending? Brought to you by Shamrock Plumbing. No job too big or too small. Get the personal touch with Shamrock Plumbing. We'll take a break. When we come back to our top story and what is trending. BYU, Kalani Sitake, now reporting to a vice president instead of the athletic director. We'll get to that next. Stay with us.
From the guys who have been there for all the biggest moments in Utah sports history, you're listening to DJ and PK on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
On expectations to go to the playoff? Isn't that the whole idea of what Kalani's talking about?
Yes.
Because if he was talking about just having a repeat of last season or even the season before, then why bring up all this stuff that's caused so much conflict? And I'm talking to people about it yesterday and what they're doing with Santiago and what he has jurisdiction over, and is Kalani going to report to the VP? And if last season is the bar, well, then they have enough resources to reach that bar.
George Scotty, the coach, today from 10 to 2 at Tim Dolly Mazda in Sandy, 10785 South Auto Mall Drive. Your logic there, PK. If that's the bar, they reach the bar. Yeah. I get it, but do you think the bar is going to move? And maybe you could argue Kalani's moving the bar internally, that was good enough for last year, but it's not good enough for next year. Or one of his bosses would move the bar.
And I said that on Tuesday and Monday because I was off a few days last week when I got back into town, started making some calls and stuff. And I learned Monday that he was going to report to the VP. And then they decided to announce it yesterday. I never saw any announcement, but that's what I heard. I don't know how it got out, whatever. But they had already obviously decided that because I said that on Tuesday. I think there's tension between Brian and Kalani. I mean, I like both guys, and I wish both of them all the success in the world. It's something that they're going to have to get by. I don't know that this is going to fix anything. The thing that happened a couple weeks ago is, according to the people I spoke to, which is numerous, and it's people who've been at BYU, employed for BYU a long time. So anybody who's listening out there who thinks they know, it's not somebody who's just been employed the last year or two. So I want to make that abundantly clear. So stop sending me stuff about an individual. It's others that have been around for a while. And that Kalani was told that Brian was going to be terminated. And then he told somebody, and then a word got out, and that's how it got on the message board. And then the communications guy, late on a Saturday night, was it? Put out that statement. So Kalani was expecting that there would be a change of leadership, not a restructure of leadership. So does a restructure satisfy him? I don't know. Maybe it does. Obviously, I was ruined my round of golf yesterday as I was having to be on the phone. And
play about 13 and a half holes?
Well, I went through them, but played poorly. And then at around hole 15, I figured, I got the messages that I need, the information that I need, and I parred the last 4.
Locked in.
I was like 16 over. Yeah. I'm usually not that bad. But, some people are saying, well, I don't think this is going to make a difference. There's the thing there, basketball is being favored. I mean, you can believe it or not, it doesn't really matter to me. And, I cites examples of Kalani asking for something and he didn't get it. And then Kevin Young asking for a raise for an assistant coach who got it. And
there you go.
The football people want to see the money of what the breakdowns, the financials, I guess you would call it, of the basketball. And that's the friction. Does this solve it? I hope for their sakes it does. I don't know. I honestly don't know. I can't say that, this is going to happen or that's going to happen. I don't know. So we'll have to see how it plays out. Somebody did tell me yesterday, I said, you think this solves it?
No.
I doubt it. And I also said earlier in the week that at least one school has put out a feeler. If things don't go the way we want, do you think your guy would be interested? That starts earlier and earlier. So some team that's supposed to be a title contender starts 3-2. Well, then that's gonna.
It's the Penn State scenario.
Yeah, and that's becoming more common. Used to be if a college coach was fired during the season, it was unheard of.
Number one, you weren't fired during the season, and number two, if you were, it was 2 games left, so they could start the search.
Mm-hmm.
But
or maybe a coach announces he's going to retire
if he's
or
at the end
step
of career,
aside.
or step aside. Yeah.
Yeah.
But now we have UCLA and Penn State pulling the ripcord on their coaches way early in the season.
Yeah, I think down at Westwood it was week 3, something like that. We didn't even get out of September, if I remember. And James Franklin was
October.
Yeah, and for a coach of his stature, the level of success, that was surprising. But I mean, it's big money now, so why shouldn't it act like the pros? The coaches have been getting big money for a good long while, and now big money is being received by a lot of different people. So I don't necessarily have a problem if you're going to act like the pros. If you're going to pay like the pros, okay. Yeah. I mean, these buyouts that these coaches get, just
massive. Unreal.
Generational, life-changing money. So maybe they should. So we'll see how that happens. I can't say this is going to solve everything. I hope it does. I hope Brian has a long tenured success at BYU. I like the guy. I've known him since he was in his 20s. When he had a little desk in Steve Cleveland's office at the Marriott Center. They don't even have those anymore. They don't have their offices in the Marriott Center.
They do not.
Yeah.
They built the annex in what used to be a service road.
Yeah. Right. I've been in Dave Rose's office in there. I haven't been in Kevin Young's. I assume it's the same. I don't know Kevin to the level that I knew Dave. I knew Dave back when he was a junior college coach at Dixie. So away we go. And I think Kalani's going to have to achieve what he wants to achieve. I wonder.
By asking for more resources, he sets the bar higher.
Yeah, he himself sets it.
Right. And he might argue, well, the bar is going to get set higher anyway. Coaches are always supposed to be making the program better. Now, we do have this weird deal where as the NIL comes out, it's like, well, you can make it better, but if you're not getting anywhere near Texas Tech, as we were talking earlier about the NIL money, if you keep chasing it, even as you move the bar up, they move the bar up, so you're still 50% behind them. I wouldn't think the bar gets set at catching Texas Tech, but maybe it does. It doesn't seem, it seems pretty clear now that these two, whatever they got going, are they really going to work it out? And this setup, well, in the short run, we see unusual setups in college sports. Usually it settles back into something more traditional. So whatever they're doing here, it could work for a while, but if they don't work it out and it sets back into something traditional, then I expect one or both guys ends up moving on. This kind of setup doesn't last. It's not the way it's usually organized.
Maybe. I can't say that. I can't disagree with it, nor can I agree with it. I can just go back to I don't know. I asked somebody on Tuesday. Mm-hmm. So I got the thing on Monday, came in Tuesday, said it Tuesday morning. We just played it. And then Tuesday, I asked someone, when is this going to happen? And when is it going to be official in the public? And he said, well, I don't know. But I did see the two of them talking at practice today. And then I'm out golfing yesterday, and then I get a message from the same person. Oh, you knew more about BYU than I do, because I had asked them on Monday. And then this person says, well, that he's been employed for a while there. Again, not in the last year or two. And he said Kalani has been, quote, pissed all summer. Usually he just is for a little bit because he's a bright side kind of guy, happy guy. Mm-hmm. He said, I have not seen him like this in the multi-years that I have worked there. So take that for what it's worth. Believe it, don't believe it, it doesn't matter to me. So I can't say. I don't know. Is to what level? My own personal, this is my personal _personal. Don't go out and tweet it. Fortunately, El Capitan's not going to do that. And that's another issue. He didn't know what I'm talking about. But DJ does. I think it's going to get worked out.
So it can get worked out.
But that's my own personal opinion.
Right.
No one's told me that.
But that is the story. So they work it out. They're far from the first coach and AD to, get into it over
Chris Hill
over resources.
and Kyle Whittingham got into
it, right?
Yeah, and Mark Harlan and Kyle Whittingham aren't the best of buddies now.
Right. So they figured out.
So it's actually more normal than it is abnormal.
Right. So there's a scenario where they figured out and they go back to a more traditional setup. I
don't think they need the traditional setup.
So they don't have to interact?
Well, they were already interacting. I had an eyewitness telling me that they were talking at practice on Tuesday, and I had said it Tuesday morning. We just played it where I'm saying he's going to report to the VP. So, yeah, if your ego wants to get in the way and I'm the AD and I have full authority, well, then you're probably going to have to go someplace else. But if you think, let's just work this out, man. They're never going to be best of buddies. But it's not necessarily a job in which you're supposed to be best of buddies.
And yeah, it's not.
Right.
It's not.
They're not really supposed to be friends.
It's a job where you're supposed to be able to work together enough to win really big and make the boosters happy, make the school look good.
Ray Anderson, the athletic director who's now gone at ASU, used to be an NFL agent. And one of his clients was Herm Edwards. So he gets the AD job. He hires his buddy. How'd that work out?
Briefly, good. And then, for quite a period of time, not well at all.
Literally the worst 3-year period in school history in terms of the football record. And
then they moved on.
Yeah. So do you really want them to be bosom buddies, chummies? I don't necessarily think that matters. Who cares? I want them to have a working relationship and pointing in the same direction. I want them we want what's best for the football program. And then when Brian deals with the basketball program, he wants what's best for the basketball program and the cross-country program and so on. That's the job. It's not to be socializing.
Pals.
Yeah. And it's inherent in conflict. Kyle Whittingham's the winningest football coach in BYU Utah history. He had conflict
with both ADs.
Yes.
He only worked for 2 ADs in that long stretch, which is unusual. But he had conflict with both of them.
Yeah. Yes. And my gosh, I'm not even telling you all the crap he told me. Yeah. And we'll just leave it at that because it's dead now. It doesn't matter. So just using it as an example. So do they have to be besties? And look what happened to the besties. We thought they were going to work forever, and boom.
Don't know if people even know what you're talking about at this point. That might have been too much code. Do you know what he's talking about, the besties? No, see, he doesn't know.
Well, sometimes you got to entertain yourself.
Okay.
And I entertained you.
You did.
There's conflict all the time. We have conflict.
Fact.
But you got to work through it. What's best for the show?
What is the goal?
Yeah.
To get another contract?
Right, and keep this thing going. And then you cool off for 5 minutes and you realize, okay, let's move on, man.
And you do wonder if them standing out there on a Tuesday or in their own time when they go back and talk to whoever they talk to, mentors, spouses, whoever. It's kind of like, well, you realize if football wins big at most schools, then usually the AD gets another contract and the coach gets another contract.
So that's why I have optimism that it can be worked out.
Or they get offers. They get offers from schools with more money.
And on the flip side is it doesn't work out and one or both leave. Okay, that could happen too. So you got one or both leaving.
Yeah.
And then on the other side, on the positive, you got it's working out. They're rolling out double-digit win seasons 4 out of 5 years, and away you go. Okay, I can see that too. And I hope they come to some kind of... They only need to have a working agreement. It's all that matters.
Yeah.
They don't need a personal agreement.
Well, if you've moved around at different jobs, and Alex is new to this, so maybe he hasn't, but you and I have, it's like there are people you remember fondly and you worked well with, but you're not necessarily that tight with them or in communication with them once one or both of you move on from whatever job. So...
The day I walk out of here is the last time I talk to you.
That's not likely. Well, we might go a while without talking, but stuff will happen in games, and I know I'll get a text.
No.
You try out whatever sarcastic, crazy line and see if you can get some emoji or gift back from me. I don't even necessarily send you words. I just send you some pop
The day I
culture
retire,
gift.
I will never watch another game.
Oh, bull.
You call him bull? See, right now, we're having conflict.
You'll be right back at it. Can't stop yourself.
Probably, most likely.
You might watch fewer games. I believe that.
You
will prioritize golf over watching some games.
The fall will be very much the same on Saturday and Sunday. Winter nights.
Sports fan in America. Huh, who knew?
May not be 75 to 80 Jazz games. Although playoffs,
Playoffs you'll be locked in.
I would think so.
I would put it at around 50 to 60.
In regular season?
Yeah. The games that'll go away, I mean, I can already predict, knowing your life, the games that'll go away is you'll watch fewer East Coast road games. If you're here, you're going to go to dinner with friends. And whereas now you're trying to prioritize and you're like, hey, let's not go to dinner Wednesday because the Jazz plays schedule with somebody on Thursday.
That's a fact.
And you do that now.
Yeah.
Well, once you're retired, you won't do that.
Yeah.
But the fact is, you're not going to be at dinner with somebody at 8 o'clock on the average winter night. So even if you come to a game late, you're going to flip it on.
Well, yeah, when you're retired, I mean, dinner's 4:30.
Early bird special.
Isn't that the stereotype?
Yeah. But it turns out now everybody's saying that's what we were supposed to be doing all along, and that's part of our weight gain is we're sitting here eating dinner at 7 or 8 o'clock.
Don't eat at past 6.
Yeah, you're eating too late.
Right.
Don't
So
do it. But we do it because we're busy.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, right. You're
No,
running
so it's
around.
good for your health. You eat, you're done eating by like 5:30 or 6. So that means you're starting at 4:30
Stay out of
to
the
5.
kitchen.
Yeah, and that's hard. When I'm home, I just wander into the kitchen and start grabbing something to eat. Wrong answer.
Well, sure, everything is hard that way. Yeah, I mean, it's all about willpower, and some days you have it, but the thing is, if you don't have it that particular day, don't beat yourself up and just get back at it the next day.
There you go. All right, so that's it with these two guys then.
Yeah,
I wonder if this format stays, and there's plenty of people we can go into the comments here. There's plenty. They're getting ready to fire the AD. They're getting ready. If the format stays like this, do you find it satisfying and do you move on? I think they both have their backers. I don't think this has just happened just because it's the two of them.
Oh, for sure.
There's a huge organization around them and above them, and so the desire to put more money in football, they must have there must be some bosses in food chain who think that's a really good idea, but the desire to not, I suspect there's some bosses who think that's it. So do you find it satisfying working in an environment? I think once you work for a while, you work someplace where you're looking at like, and most of us have multiple bosses. I mean, we can count like 4, here, and other places we work, we can count multiple. And it's like, I really like working for that one. This one, ho-hum, and then this one over here. Oh, good grief. When do they take a job?
That.
There was once a news director, and this is going back 20 years, maybe 25 years. The assistant news director had a pool on the back of their door about when the news director would leave. You know how like they'll do a pool and predict what day, a woman's going to give birth. And when will the baby be born, right? And, well, they're predicting what day the news director would go away. And then the news director walked in, closed the door, and saw it. Hilarious.
I think on a personal note for me, I'm glad that Brian still has an opportunity to show he can do the job.
Do they get to the point where BYU has enough money that they can fund both programs at a higher level? Because you're never going to you're never going to catch the biggest spenders in the sport. I mean, they are way out there, and they're accelerating. Mm-hmm. So they're going to have enough where every year there's an upgrade. To go back to Chris Hill, who had conflict with not just football coaches, he had conflict with other coaches too. I remember one time they were adding women's soccer in the 90s. And so then there were Title IX issues, and they needed to do it. And they came up with a plan where every year it got better. You add the team, you're going to add a little support staff the next year, you're going to work on the stadium the next year, and then the fourth year the stadium gets lights. And they had and he laid it out. He did one of his annual things where he's talking to people, and he laid out, like, this is the plan for the next 3 to 5 years, and this is how we're going to upgrade every single year. Uh-huh. And if you feel like you're getting upgrades every year, you feel like you're valued, you never really catch up with, enormous state university down the road who's got $1 gazillion, but you always feel like you're getting a better chance to get it done. Mm-hmm. And I suspect Kalani isn't feeling that. Now, he probably also thought after Penn State he'd take a big, a quantum leap forward, and he's not feeling that. And it's worse if you see somebody else across the street taking a step forward.
Oh, yeah.
Basketball's taking a step forward. How come football's not?
Right.
Now,
Right.
If the fundraising accelerates to a point, do they get to the point where they both programs have plans where you're getting X, Y, Z or whatever, we're laying it out, here's where you're going in the next year, 2, 3. Here's how we're pumping up NIL, here's how we're growing your staff. Uh-huh. Because Kalani did seem satisfied going back to another chapter of this. There's a pretty decent chance he had conflict with Tom Holmoe at some point. he wanted something, and Homo either wouldn't or maybe couldn't give it to him.
Oh, I know he did.
Right. And then
they got so sick of the love showering on Mark Pope.
Yeah. But then they had the press conference where this is unprecedented, right? They came up with a new plan. They were able to fund it. And
well, that's why they televised in the locker room after the game that they were extending him.
Yeah.
It's a happy story, as they should.
All right, DJ and PK, it's 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Pablo Mastroeni at the top of the hour, Kevin Graham at 9 o'clock. Stay with us.
Best thing that's ever happened to you financially. Go.
Easy. Sold my car on Carvana. Amazing offer.
Really? I hit 200 on a scratcher.
Did the scratcher come to your house and hand you a check?
No.
How many scratchers did you hit to get that? I hit a button on Carvana.com once.
Okay, that's fair.
It's like the lottery, except you always win.
Not like the lottery at all, actually.
Exactly. Inexplicably good. Offers worth bragging about. Sell your car today on Carvana. Pickup fees may apply.
Over 2 decades of sports radio dominance in Utah. My favorite. This is DJ and PK on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Win big this Wednesday on the KSL Sports Zone with Win Tickets Wednesday. This week, we're going to have family pack of tickets to the 2026 Utah State Fair. Get your tickets today and listen to KSL Sports Zone all day Wednesday for your chance to win. DJ and PK, it is time now to get a little of your reaction to everything that's happening at BYU. It's all over the place, PK. Cam, sounds like they're working on getting rid of the AD. Actually, I'd push back on that because I think if they want to get rid of the AD, they would have already done it. They've got all the reason they need. Plenty of places have gotten rid of athletic directors in this situation, or maybe even with less than this.
Okay.
So I think there are people who want to keep Brian there. At the same time, does that mean that, this is, as I said in the last segment, I'd be surprised if the setup looks like this long term. It either gets better and they figure it out, or it gets worse and one or both guys move on. Either maybe they choose to, or maybe someone chooses to
Yeah, it
help
could
them.
solve itself.
Right.
Very much so. Yeah, I can see where you're saying that.
Now, Craig says many athletic departments are reorganizing to better meet the future business of college sports. Football team and coaches are focused on playing one game at a time to reach their goals. All the soap opera rubbish will not get in the way. It's going to be another fun year.
Yeah, that's an interesting point because I did have somebody tell me that very thing, that the athletic department is so enormous with so much stuff going on. The job is most complex right now than it's ever been, literally right now, and it's hard to do. And which I assume that's why they brought in the guy Hill to add another level of support and eyes and responsibilities and blah, blah, blah. That they want, somebody was saying that they want a president, basically, of football. And we've seen that, like with Andrew Luck at Stanford.
100%.
And so that person reports to the administration. The football coach, who is it, Pritchard, reports to
and then
Andrew Luck.
And once
Andrew Luck reports to Leland Stanford himself.
He does not report to Leland Stanford himself. Leland Stanford would be like 138 years old. So.
I know, but they're so smart up there. He's
cryogenically froze himself and is running the university from the great ivory tower.
And
in the
I had
sky.
somebody, and it wasn't an emotional thing. He wasn't ragging on anybody. He was saying, this is what we need to do because the job has changed so much.
Cal went and did it. They brought in Ron Rivera. And they're organized a little differently. But it did feel a little bit like, well, Stanford was rethinking what they're doing. We better rethink what we're doing. I mean, they're obviously rivals, miles apart and all that.
Yeah.
So to some degree, I do get the reorganization. And we always went up to Kyle Whittingham's press conferences because Kyle got to the point where he was pretty much untouchable and could say whatever he wanted. And I remember him being asked about that as they were adding general managers and all these jobs with the pros. And he says, over the time I've been here, it's grown to the point that it takes a village. He says, and people describe football as CEOs. I get why they say that because it's not a village anymore. It's now a small town. And it's just the growth.
I was raised in a small town.
Sing it, John. You John Mellencamp or you John Cougar Mellencamp? Which do you prefer?
I go by his name.
Yeah. I don't need the Cougar. What are we doing here? What is that? All right, DJ and PK.
And now I don't mind Cougars.
Michael, the light shineth in the darkness, and the darkness comprehendeth not. Then a little cheesy grin emoji at the end of that. Closed quote. Jared, will this bring back Jay Hill? That's a whole nother segment, Jared. Come on, Jared.
I don't think so.
DJ and PK, Pablo Mastroeni, RSL head coach next. Kevin Graham on the NFL, and he'll have 47 things to say about BYU as well. Kevin's coming up at 9 o'clock. DJ and PK, it's 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.